Hi folks, Donna Bob here, back in Barrett Paleopark for episode 9. Today we'll be finishing off the Thyreophorean Trail and introducing Ankylosaurus. So before we get into that, um, I got the notification during this work that Ghost, our albino Mutaborosaurus, had hatched its eggs. Does not appear to be any albinos among the children, but it is a step along the way, maybe, of getting there at some point. Anyway, I think she's a very pretty looking albino and a good draw for the zoo, which is always pretty useful. And she did decide to be a little vocal, yeah, while I was checking on her. Before we get into the speed build, we've got a look at the modified sign here for the trail. This is the back end of the trail, away from the entrance to the park. And we've got all three animal silhouettes on there now. So let's jump into the speed belt. The general area is laid out. The fencing's completed. There's a little shelter in the back there, at least from the section we're viewing. Some of this is going to get modified, some of it's going to get changed, and all of it will, of course, get vegetated. But I started by putting in the water, and Ankylosaurs like a good bit of water. And I wanted to have a little island there in the middle of it. So the ground needs to be smoothed out quite a bit to get a better slope for the animals to walk around. In some cases, I won't smooth it down, but put rocks in to make an area where the animals will avoid walking down. So this is that kind of thing going in. I wanted to use some of the new rocks that came with the update. Um, and they are pretty good for doing flat surfaces, such as I wanted for this area. Sorry about that. Uh, just tried to yawn in the middle of talking. Um, this particular rock has fairly vertical surfaces, which encourages the animals not to walk over it. Um, so one of the things that I ultimately decided I didn't like was that concrete wall in the viewing area. Um, there is a remarkable shortage of low walls that are high enough to keep an ankylosaur in, strong enough, I should say. Um, and this is the least offensive of them, but it kind of doesn't work with the ambiance of the whole area. So I'm not thrilled by that. I hope at some point the devs will give us some more options for a fence that'll keep Ankylosaurus in without overpowering its security needs. Uh, Only time will tell with that. So this video is going to be heavily concentrating on the rock placement. Uh, it's just what I've got the footage of, so there is that. Um, the park is coming along nicely. Um, the addition of this animal puts it in a pretty darn good place. Um, Guests are reasonably happy and coming along, but I think I need to pre-position some stuff for the future. Um, so you can see I'm covering up some of the concrete fencing here, and part of that is to provide this little corner. I ultimately want this to be where the nest will get placed. It's a little bit of a private corner in the layout of the habitat. So that seems to make sense to me. Um, and keeping it out of sight from most vantage points. Uh, speaks to the privacy for the animal. I don't want to occlude that shelter area particularly. I want to keep that concrete fence base to the wooden pillars that support the roof for that. So yeah, really can't see too well into that corner. So that should, I hope, make the female Ankylosaurus happy. So this is enough space for a male and a female. And a little bit extra. What I'm putting in now is rocks to help screen that shelter. The idea is to have a combination rock and vegetation barrier to make the shelter mostly not visible to the audience from the viewing area. You can see in the far distance there are some storage facilities for the park in general. I'll want to hide that as much as possible. Obviously, I need to do some rock adjustments because the change in rocks resulted in some things changing ever so slightly, but it does mean they ended up poking through the wall. So the rocks there need a little bit of adjustment. I've been wrestling through the whole Thyreophorean Trail about just what I want to do about the planting areas, just how much I want to fence them in, either visually or with curb type stuff. I had originally done that on the block of vegetation that's right by the Stegosaurus on the other side there. Obviously, I haven't done it here, at least not yet. But like I said, still wrestling with the idea. So this is where I changed out the fence there. The rocks mean the Ankylosaurus can't get to it, so the lower strength timber fence doesn't get them upset. They can't get there, they're contained. And I can get away with changing the look, which I think is a good thing. I will apologize ahead of time while I continue to work on that rock and vegetation area. I lost a bunch of footage on this build, so you won't see the vegetation process. You've seen that in other videos. It's the usual thing. Lay down a lot of stuff with the brushes and then edit it to suitability. A little bit of additional work, for example, on the plants that are going to go in this planting area, done separately. The park in general has also been continuing its research programs, doing the animals more or less as I need them, but in general I have tried to get all the paleo plants researched, get the diseases researched, and then the park facilities and capabilities increasing as the park goes along. So this is usual park mid-game, but under the current challenge, I'm ending up a bit higher rated than I usually seem to be at this point. So getting this planting bed into this rock structure is pretty much the last thing I've got the speed build footage for. So anyway, I have been progressing on the park faster than I'm getting videos out on the weekly schedule. So there's more stuff coming with this habitat in the future, even beyond the getting it ready to put the Ankylosaurus in. So yes, indeed, that's where the footage cuts out, and we'll move over to a little walkthrough bit with some animal footage as part of it. There's a lot of planting work done since the Stegosaurus, um, and you can clearly see the just the raw path edges there that need some looking at. The vets were very fast about coming in and checking out the animals here. Uh, you can see the foliage is in, some down trees. We've got our animals in. I put these animals in as full adults, or nearly full adults. Um, so using the binoculars to get a better look at one of our pair as they mess around at the pond edge. And the other one in the deep background over by the fence. I put in a fence inside the concrete wall back there to partially hide the concrete wall and provide a little bit better visual back there. Whether that remains, the future will decide. Anyway, we're coming toward the end of the video now. So you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. All the interaction is appreciated on this end. It encourages me to keep doing this stuff. So there's the overhead, a big crescent shape to finish off this side of the Thyreophorean Trail. Next time, we'll be moving off the trail, and another of the new Update 17 dinosaurs will be showing up. Which one? I guess you have to show up next week to find out. Anyway, you all take care out there. Be kind to each other. And I hope to have you drop by for another video. Bye now.